What's up guys, Blade Master here, going to be bringing you something quite different from the usual 2v2s and 1v1s that I play. This is a 2v2 port assault at Omana. So as you guys probably know by now, Oman is where I grew up and where I was born. And it seems pretty cool, and it seems really romantic to me that I can come back to it and pillage the shit out of it. Just, I guess I'm a romantic at heart. And also, I should let you guys know this is an announcement. I'm going to be holding a very small 8-person tournament. Not, it's only going to be city assaults and port assaults, most likely just port assaults. And since it's going to be 8 players and it's going to be 2v2s, that means it's not even much of a tournament. It's just a friendly get together, I guess. That's probably the best way to put it. And it will be a total of 2 matches. So 2 players versus 2 players in one bracket, 2 players versus 2 players in the other bracket. And then the final 2 teams will meet up against each other in the quote-unquote finals. Anyways, back to the situation here. I've taken the Jutes, or I've taken the Danes. No, I've taken the Danes. I've got the Danish marauding force up here. Somehow they made it across to the desert, to the middle of the desert. And we are fighting up against another Norwegian, or I guess it's Norwegian, it's a Danish, whatever, or Viking Marauder DLC faction. It's the Geats. So I'm playing as the Danes. My ally is playing as the Visigoths. And we are fighting up against the Roman expedition and the Geats. So as you can see here, I'm fighting with my light artillery ship onto these onagers. My opponent very smartly kept these onagers right at the landing ports. Omana is has got a massive number of ports, or landing zones, I guess you can call them. There are 3 here and 3 here, so you can very effectively split your marauding force into 2. And then, get a combined assault from all directions. Now, I believe my opponents made quite a big mistake by not bringing any ships of their own. That said, I mean, with these onagers, they can probably destroy my ships as they proceed. The thing is, my artillery somehow have better range than their onagers. Maybe if they brought heavy onagers, it could have been different. But instead, they can't fire right now, except for my my Snekia longships, my Nordic heavy marauders. These are light assault ships. The reason I'm sending them in here is because I want to, first of all, hold out these onagers, and then hold out these troops. He's got a bunch of troops, mostly Roman expedition troops. Buchalari Guard Axemen here, and the Skuratai over here, holding out this zone, but they've made a big mistake in not holding out this landing zone. So I'm sending all my super heavy troops, chosen Norse marauders, heavy axe infantry, some more chosen Norse marauders, and my general, who's a Nordic berserker marauder. That's quite a mouthful to say out loud. Nordic berserker marauders. So they're going to be here. The capture point is right here. There's only one elite ballistari which is guarding it. Now that's what it looks like so far. Again, I couldn't see these guys because of line of sight earlier, and I think they're just going to be perched atop this hill and maybe fire from this sort of like balcony overlooking the beautiful coast. As for the rest, it looks like my Visigothic ally is taking a much more passive approach to this game. He forgot to bring siege towers, which he conveniently told all of us just right before we started the game. So he has no option but to fire with his onagers and try to destroy, make a hole for his army to pass through. The problem is he's only brought 2 onagers and he's firing into 2 completely different directions with them. If he at least fired into one single spot with both of them, he could probably create a hole. But that said, at the very least, he's creating a distraction for this huge Geats army filled with herdmen who are very defensive units. And he's created a big distraction over there, which means my marauders can do what they do best and maraud into the center of the city. Now, my 3 artillery Liburnian are still firing into this huge infantry blob right here. The enemy general is dead. How is that so? Let's see. The Buchalari Guard cavalry died? Not really sure how. I guess did one of the onagers get him? Doesn't look like it. I'm not really. This is a very strange occurrence. I'm not really sure how the Buchalari Guard cavalry took so many casualties. I mean, none of my troops are anywhere near. Anyways, right here, I'm using my Nordic Heavy Marauders to dismantle the Onagers at the coast. The Arrow Tower is busy firing Flaming Shot onto these guys, but not like I really care because these are pretty cheap units. My most expensive units are over here, these axes, and you can see there the Dane axes, and Dane axes can only mean one thing, and that's death, and that's huge amounts of my opponent's death. Fire Tower is firing into the... Oh, 2 Fire Towers. Look at the range on these guys. Firing into 2 of my chosen Norse Marauders while they're capturing this capture point. It gives a morale bonus for all of my troops. Not really necessary, but I kind of just wanted to delay the inevitable. I knew I was going to win this because my opponents are thoroughly unprepared for what's about to hit them. There's only one Elite Ballistari here and the Buchalari Guard Cavalry here, and he's bringing the Scutatoi. My opponent, my Roman Expedition opponent, is bringing the Scutatoi over to help. Why are the Scutatoi? There, oh, maybe there's Scutatoi Axemen and there's regular Scutatoi. Okay, so he's bringing the Scutatoi infantry. I thought these guys were axes. Into support. They're walking down this. Oh my god, look at the detail. You know what, I'm almost thoroughly convinced that Attila was built, like the main selling point for Attila is city sieges and port sieges. I mean, look at the detail on this. I mean, I'm not really sure why it looks kind of like Egyptian, these marble statuettes. But I mean, look at the detail that's gone into this. You can see like little pots here. It's just really beautiful, really beautiful. City sieges have always, even in Rome too, city sieges have been a thoroughly memorable experience, if only for the graphics or the graphical fidelity that Total War can present in those battles, which is otherwise impossible in land battles, even if it's a 2v2 or a 3v3. But in cities they can really flex their graphical muscles, so to speak. Coming back to the engagement, my chosen, and they're not the Norse Marauders, they're just the light infantry, are just holding out the heavy Roman infantry at the coast still. Holding these guys down is going to be very important because I only have 3 axe infantry units that are going to be proceeding into the city center. They are taking some fire from the arrow towers all the way in the distance. But once they make it into this corridor, it's just a short little hike, and they're going to be engaged with these with the Buchalari Guard Cavalry, which one of my chosen Norse Marauders has already attacked. Down to 22 men. Of course, nothing can really face up to the one-handed axes, especially a general cavalry unit that is running away from them. Ah, no, I want to see the action up close. Oh, camera debug. Okay, cool. So you can see the death of the Roman expedition general, the last Roman general. He's about to get butchered by Dane axes. And meanwhile, I've got my chosen Norse berserker general and one pretty depleted chosen Norse marauder axe unit that's going to be trying to take a hold of the city center, throwing axes. And then one of my Norse marauders is going to just straight up charge into the Scutatoi infantry. So yes, I mean, look at the stats on these guys. This is very nice. I mean, they're very low in number, 99 units compared to 120 for the usual. But 57 melee attack, 56 melee damage, and a charge bonus of 90 means that these guys can really do no wrong in melee. The Elite Ballistari are pulling up in front. I believe they just want to attack my general. My general being right behind my chosen marauders, right here. You can see they are without armor. These guys are probably the ballsiest, the ballsiest general. I mean, doesn't bring any armor compared to the units he's leading, who've actually decided to clothe themselves for a change. These guys have 37 armor. They look like they're unarmored, but they have more armor than the chosen Norse marauders. That is creative assembly logic. Anyways, as you can see by the victory point here, I've almost captured it, and the thing is, I've got more of these chosen Norse marauders here. These guys have excellent capture. No, my general had excellent capture power, which meant that this city center was going to go down very quickly. My opponents made a crucial mistake in not guarding the city center. They instead had a lot of units in the corridors right here, and then they were just running around trying to run inside and try to capture defend the capture point, but it was all too late. You got to remember that in the actual game, a lot of my Norse Marauders would probably have been hidden due to line of sight. A lot of line of sight strategies involved in city sieges, because there are these narrow alleys that you can't really see unless you have a unit that's at the end of the alley, right there or right there. So it could lead to some pretty interesting little mini ambushes within the context of the total battle. Here you can see the Skuratoi, I believe, just throwing their Pila at my... Whoa, that's a huge arc of fire. These chosen Norse Marauders, they took a lot of damage there, down to 43 units, but still, I mean, and these guys have excellent morale too. I think they have 100 morale. That's just insane. I mean, these guys are... The total unit costs 725 talents, and that comes along with a pretty strong ship. So there's really nothing that can go wrong with the Norsemen, especially when you're trying to do a city ambush, or sorry, a port assault or a naval ambush or something. As strong as their melee infantry are, their naval infantry are just as strong, if not even a bit stronger. I mean, those guys are very cheap for how good they are. Nordic Berserker Marauders, they have the single-handed axe, but they still got a lot of kills, 97 kills with the double XP and Chevron. And as you can see by the victory timer here, only 1 minute left in this game, and that's because I whoop ass. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not gonna... I did tell the guys, I did tell my opponents to run into the victory point if they wanted to win this game, or if they wanted to not lose, but it was too little too late at that point. Meanwhile, the Visigothic army has absolutely no idea what to do, just leaving it all up to me, which is a pretty decent tactic considering, like I said, I whoop ass. It looks like he broke the gate damage 100%, but he just decided not to attack. If my opponents just decided to charge in here earlier, then it could have made for an interesting scenario, but they couldn't, because then there's a huge Visigothic army over here, although they are very, very far away from the rest of the battle. At this point, it's pretty much safe to call it GG. Let's zoom in on the action, which is being dealt by my Nordic Axe Marauders, and it's a close victory. Pretty easy victory. If my opponents knew what they were doing, then this could have been a very, very interesting scenario. That said, I mean, it was, for the most part, it was pretty enjoyable. Like, even though I can only imagine, like, that's why I've decided to start this mini-tournament, I guess I can call it, is that imagine if you're playing with similarly skilled players in a port assault or a city siege. Good God, that would be so much fun. Anyways, guys, on that thought, oh yeah, if you want to register for the city assault or the port assault, just the Wolf of Rima Steam tournament group is provided in the description. Click that, and then just reply "I'm in" to the thread about the city assault or / port assault mini tournament. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of different video, and stay tuned for more. Peace.